you're writing a book at the moment.
Yeah, I'm writing a new book. It's taking me, you know, most of every day. Well, I'm knackered. I see through this window, you know, what the weather's like. I very rarely feel the sun on my head these days because of this book and everything else that's happening. And that should be out early in 2010, which will take the thing again.
This is an update of information.
Oh yeah. What I do is I wait until my understanding's moved on a certain amount before I write another book, and so that's the next one.
Okay. Can I just ask you, just kind of shift gear, and just ask you a few kind of more silly questions that people have sent in.
Okay.
Like more kind of personal, like things like what's your favourite joke?
Oh, gold. Well, if you'd give me a warning on that, I could have thought of it. But I mean, you know, I like jokes. I like comedy, and I love Peter Kay.
Right. Okay.
I love observation humour, because what he does. I mean, one of my favourite performances or DVDs I've ever seen is Peter Kay live at the Bolton Albert Halls. Oh,
I think I've seen some of that.
Oh, it is brilliant.
Is that where he's running all over the place?
Yeah, but all he's doing is observing life and what we do.
And twisting it. Slightly.
Yeah, but only marginally twisting it. I mean, the characters that he talks about in that video, and I've met them. You know, so I love humour, and I love observational humour, because you know, we need to laugh at ourselves, because if we don't, then you know, I think there's a bit of balance missing there.
I mean, I've been asked really stupid questions as well. Like, someone said, "Can you ask David how did dogs learn to swim?" I mean, just
don't give a shit.
I know. Why would somebody send me that? But more, how did you feel about getting hit with custard pies by the scary Canadian pie chuckers? I mean, did you just kind of breeze past that? They were just idiots, weren't they? Anyway,
yeah, if they had a brain, they'd be even more dangerous.
They just wanted a bit of attention.
Yeah, but they're just silly people, and what they were is classic expressions of the self-pure, self-obsessed left of centre in politics, where they go on and on about, those people go on and on about globalisation, about exploitation of the third world. Here's my heart, it's my heart, look, there it is, look, I'm a really good left.
Yeah, but it's just this, isn't it?
Yeah, and then when someone says, hey, this is how it's all pulled together, this is why this is happening all at the same time, you're a racist. Because this is another important point, I want to make this point.
Okay.
One of the greatest engines and vehicles for this conspiracy is called Zionism. And we need to understand what Zionism is. We have been manipulated to believe that Zionism means Jewish people. It does not. Zionism, I show this in detail in my books, Zionism is a 100% creation of the House of Rothschild, who couldn't give a damn about Jewish people. The House of Rothschild own Israel. They funded the early settlers. They fund it now. They funded the building of the Knesset, the Israeli Parliament. They funded the Supreme Court building, which is full of occult symbols, etc. Which is what the Rothschilds are. They are a black magic family, what people call an occult family, although this, you know, that just means hidden. Going back to the Middle Ages, they in Germany, Rothschild comes from the German Red Shield, and Mayer Amstel Rothschild, who was Mayer Amstel Bauer, he changed the name to Rothschild, Red Shield, because he had a red hexagram on his house in Frankfurt. Where's the hexagram now? The flag of Israel, right? The Star of David is not an exclusively Jewish symbol, and Jewish historians will tell you this. It became associated with Jewish people when the Rothschilds took it as their symbol. The Rothschilds are the people behind Zionism. they hung them out to horrific treatment in Germany because the Rothschilds were behind the Nazis. The Rothschilds connect with the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers are subordinate to the Rothschilds. So what you had in World War II was the Allies and the United States, which are, in terms of their governments, were fronts for this network, not least, especially the Rothschilds. And you had the Nazis that were a front for the Rothschilds, and you had Russia that was a front for the Rothschilds. And they were played off against each other in a war, which did what? Transformed global society. At the end of the First World War, same situation, power in the world was in far fewer hands than it was before. After the Second World War, power was in even fewer hands than it was before, and we had this explosion of global organizations like the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and so on, and we've since got the World Trade Organization to stop people defending their own economies from the world system they have no control over, and it was all problem, reaction, solution. We had the creation of Israel being manipulated by the Rothschild family going way back into the 1800s. And then we had something called the Balfour Declaration during the First World War, where Lord Balfour, the Foreign Secretary in Britain, which was very powerful at that time with still remnants of an empire at least, he made a declaration that the British government supported a Jewish homeland in Israel. And people think, well, Balfour Declaration, he must have stood up and spoken in Parliament or something. No, no. The Balfour Declaration, as I show in my books, was a letter sent by Lord Balfour, an inner circle member of an elite secret society called the Round Table, to Lord Rothschild, who was the funder and creator of the Round Table. And the letter was written by Lord Rothschild for Balfour to send. After the First World War, they had the Versailles Peace Conference, in which people from France and Britain and America, etc., got together. The major players in the Versailles Peace Conference from all these countries were either Rothschild bloodline or were agents and activists for the Rothschilds. They decided how Europe was going to be, and many other lands were going to be carved up. They produced the sanctions against Germany that led to the chaos that brought Hitler to power. All these things are a sequence that are all planned. They don't plan it by the minute or even the decade. And as a result of the horrific way that Jewish people were treated in Germany, the Rothschilds then started using that to push for a homeland in Israel. They funded the terrorist groups called Irgun, the Stern Gang and others that bombed Israel into existence in 1948 and caused 800,000 Palestinian people to leave their homeland in terror. Jewish people that had lived in harmony with the Palestinians for sometimes centuries were horrified by this. There were movements by, attempts by these indigenous, if you like, Jewish people in Palestine to turn Jerusalem into an international city through the UN so that there wouldn't be this takeover. And there are organizations, Jewish organizations around the world who have been created to challenge Zionism because they say, for a start, it's against Judaism. But what they've done, Kirk, is this, the Rothschilds, is they have, through propaganda and repetition, equated Zionism, which is a political creed, with Jewish people, which is not a political creed. And so you have vast numbers of people who are Zionists who are not Jewish, like the Christian Zionists in America, and you have significant numbers of Jewish people who are not Zionists.